And now we prepare for this big matchup between great mates, great competitors, and great aerial components. Reo Waida up against Mateus Herdy.
I mean, Keanu going, I think, almost like 12, 13 waves. So let's hope things pick up. Here we go.
Here we go. There goes Mateus Herdy from Brazil. Just an in and out for him, just finding, just looking for that little ramp section that never really materialized. He's speaking a really good competitive game as well. We'll pause that thought as Reo Waida takes off. Yeah, he has a big section ahead of him. Just goes for the close-out re-entry over that whitewater section, a little floating maneuver, so no aerial on that occasion for Rio. We heard Mateus Herdy talking about doing turns to get a bit of a foundation. Now he's winding up for the big air reverse. There it is. Gets the tail towards the beach for the landing, but just landed almost on the back of the wave there, Kai. Rio Pro in Saquarema recently. And here he goes again, up and riding, the young Brazilian, looking to emulate all those who have gone before him and have taken the world by storm. Mateus Herdy, certainly one of the next in line as far as that Brazilian flag bearer is concerned on the World Tour.
And that was his advice to Luke Thompson going to Jeffreys Bay, is that just take it all in and learn as much as you can.
In and out there for Reo Waida.
You know, these guys, like I said, they travelled literally the whole of last year together because of events being off, and then when the events came up, they were competing with each other.
On his backhand, a nice big fan of spray on that first turn from Waida. Decides to pull out before that second section arrived. So just a one-turn hit for Rio. Congratulations there to Keanu, seeing the first man through to the semi-finals. Now let's pay attention to this heat. Here goes Mateus Herdy. This time completes the air reverse and looking for a little oncoming section. Big bowl up ahead of him now. Can he get up and over the section? He does, albeit with a little bit of a drama and not really coming out of that one. So it's going to be all about that first big air reverse. A quick look at the watch. It'll tell him there's 18 minutes remaining, and for us, that's plenty of time, Kai.
You'll get it. Let's watch it here. I mean, it took off straight into the air. There was almost like absolutely no downtime between the takeoff and the air, then pumps through. He had to go pretty late on that whitewater climb. Try to pet the cat a bit to get out in front of it, but washes off the back. Look how quickly he just goes into this launch. It's actually phenomenal. And not getting the full rotation, the scale has gone up. You're going to have to perform now. That 267, that like single turn on a big heavy section from Rio, and some of the earlier rounds would have been a much bigger score.
Here goes Rio now. Nice opening turn to start off with. Kicks up a lot of spray with that one. Up and over the section, and now looking for some sort of rebound for a nice closing turn. He finds the opportunity and closes that one down nicely. So Reo Waida now definitely replacing that 2.67 low. It'll put some pressure back on Herdy. Here goes Waida.
So I love this. Goes straight up. Just good fundamental surfing. He did a lot of good work through the flat sections there to stay with this one. And then builds up the momentum, gets the crack off the top. Not going to be a huge score, but it's definitely, I think, going to replace the 267, which is his lowest score right now. Love the first turn. That was a good turn. This was a kind of dead time, just getting back to sort of the power point, and it works its way onto the bank. You call this as the most interesting heat of the round, and it was the first heat so far that gave the real fireworks.
Well, that was a well-constructed ride there from Reo Waida. Worked with what he had, but here he goes again, live action. A bigger wave here, rolls in. Big section ahead, goes for the big frontside air. Haven't seen a straight air for, well, the whole event, as the frontside wrap is now complete, and the inside little jab off the whitewater to close down that wave. So now some variety being showed in Reo Waida's performance, and you called for a big straight air, and now you've got it, Kai Linder.
The more difficult it becomes, because you've got to keep those feet on the board. And watch, he takes off here and just bam, just goes straight to it, lands so clean into a beautiful wrap, gets a little cheeky float over the section, and then wham, lays into that section. I don't even know how you did that on that section. So for me, certainly the best wave of the heat so far, and I'm going to go for one of my favorite airs of the day. Just look at that, so clean, just stomped it, and I think the judges will reward that control through the air. I like that he maintained over that. We've seen a few guys go down on that kind of section.
Well, we love the rivalry. It's alive and well. We'll stay with live pictures here. This is Rio Waida kicking up and quick in and out. We're going to take our opportunity to take a quick break before we go into the back half of this heat. We see him drop 8s and 9s so far in this event, Mateus Herdy. So Reo will never be comfortable knowing his good mates has the launch pad ahead of him. He's up and riding on that one, but unfortunately just you have to say a bit of a mistake in terms of wave selection with priority with that one, Kai. Great to see the support for the last remaining South African who was in the draw. He's out now, but let's pay attention to Mateus Herdy. He has the section he's been looking for, gets up and over there, but couldn't quite get a nice launch pad off that little kicker, as well as the last round of 16. So we are going to finish the men's quarterfinals today. We've got 2 more heats coming up after this, and here goes Mateus Herdy. 7 minutes on the clock, winding up ahead of steam. There's the big rotation, and unfortunately just he slammed pretty hard before that opportunity to revert out. Okay. Rio Waida, perhaps drawing on some of that championship tour experience through those wild cards, but this man's got experience too, and he's got a big air game, and he's got a section ahead of him. What's it going to be? There he greases out the air reverse and able to get up and over that section as well. But unfortunately, that Whitewater just ankle taps him, and it'll only be the air reverse that scored. The priority is with the man in the red, and with these 2 guys being good mates, it'll be interesting to see what the tactic is here towards the end. But we might not have to wait, because Rio will use his priority over Mateus Herdy for this one. Open up with a nice little turn off the top. There's a better, more dynamic turn on the second, but unfortunately he can't complete. And now the opportunity is all at the feet of Mateus Herdy.
I think he would have been too deep, actually. Look, it did look like a good one. You can see even Rio got in a little bit late and behind the section and had to work it around. First turn, decent, nothing fantabulous. That was Mateus pulling off a bit of a stinger, and here he goes.
There goes Herdy, looking for a big score and a big opportunity. Beautiful front side carve there, but unfortunately it looks like the back foot just came off the tail pad. What he's trying to do out there, he's really pushing the envelope, trying to land one of these big airs. Paddle here from Waida. Big section ahead of him as well. Nice closeout section, goes for the big air reverse, but you can see his foot just disconnected too early on that one, Kai.
Yeah, that was a brave attempt, it must be said. That was a heaving section.
Waida leads, Herdy second, looking for a 7-0-1.
Wow, 15 seconds. Here comes the big paddle.
He's got a section ahead of him. He's got speed. He's got flair. He's got power. And he lands that air reverse beautifully. Can he find another section? He does ride out of that one. He loves it. He's claiming it. He's feeling it. A 7-0-1. Well, he waited until the last absolute 5 seconds to find that one. He greased that air reverse. His front foot got stuck real far towards the front of that nose of his board. He had to step it back to finish that final maneuver, Kai. High drama to finish off this heat.
So he took off, got a lot of speed, punts, almost the full rotation. The front foot was a little bit up at the nose on the landing, and he did get it to the lip. And I mean, he's pretty convinced he got it. Unfortunately, it's not looking... I think if anything, he's going to get down marked just on the landing of the air and getting the front foot up the front. And then the second turn, it was a heavy section, but not super exciting. And looks like the judges agreed with that.
And there it is, a 6.50 for Mateus Herdy. So unfortunately, just not enough at the death there. And Reo Waida will book himself a place in the semi-finals up against Caity Simmers.